David and I are first cousins. Our mothers were sisters. So we used to play all kinds of wild games, not searching for each other in places. We played war. David was our general. I'm sure my grandma was probably very unhappy with the fact that we would put her aluminum mixing bowls on our head, and David would march us off to war in the alley. We also played court with our aunts and uncles being, witnesses who had to testify. But always David is in a leadership position. I like to tease him all the time that he likes to give the orders instead of doing all that grunt work. But it was always an activity that's organized. That's David.
And he has a picture of General Pershing on his wall in his office. So I don't know if he saluted him or expected the picture to salute him back. But
David's always been active with the school and parish, especially with the parish bazaar, cooking chicken, always behind the scenes. He and Ruth Reality are really the reasons our alumni committee continued to exist. I keep trying to get David to come sub for me some because David is a student of history, and where my focus is more outwardly, he is really the connoisseur of local history. And yeah, if you have a question about the school or the church, that's who you want to go to. David even talks to my sophomore classes almost every year and gives them some church history that otherwise they would never know.
So I've known David for probably almost 20 years. When I worked in Washington, D.C. with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, David was very involved at the national level at that point in time. And then when I came back to Missouri and became the executive director here, I've been here now for 11 years. And of course, David's been a very vibrant participant of our association. He has a heart for service and really wants to volunteer, get out there and be more than just someone on the sidelines that pays their dues. And he's been someone who brings transformational change to organizations at the right time. He's been in about every leadership capacity he could possibly be in, both at the county and the state levels, and also was in leadership at the national level as well.
David is one individual that has a lot of knowledge. I don't care if he just has a lot of institutional knowledge, whether it be on a constitutional level or business level or an organizational level. David is a historian at heart, and he understands whatever topic or whatever meeting. He is well prepared to address whatever issue that he is tackling that day. There's several issues that David and I encountered that were huge challenges for the beef industry back in the mid-late 2000s, and he was chairman, and I actually was vice chairman of what we call the Federation of State Beef Councils. Well, there was a huge disagreement, but David knew exactly how hard we could push for what we needed to get done and what could be done and what couldn't be done. And without that knowledge, and it was really the timeliness of that knowledge to where we really had the advantage as far as how we could maneuver, because everybody else was having to look up what the rules were, and he already knew what the rules were. And literally, he was one of the people that I want to say turned around the negativity and moved that organization forward. We could be looking at a lot of things different today as far as an industry.
I've probably known David for 40 years, off and on through things. We got close probably 10 years ago when he became commissioner. Of course, I've always known him from church. We used to take a lot of trips together. We would go out for our what they call NENA, it's National Emergency Numbers Association, as we were developing our 911 system for the county. I used to like to kid around with him. I have a story I used to tell out there in Denver the first time we ever went. That was a place that was legal for marijuana, and I kept telling him, I said, David, we need to buy some brownies. No, Jim, we ain't doing that. I went down to one of the grocery stores and I bought a thing of regular brownies. And I brought him back to the room. I said, David, look what I got. Throw those things out, Jim. So we had a good laugh after I told him what I did. So David is always willing to listen to people. then you have to listen to both sides of stuff. You have to make decisions, and either way, it's kind of tough to do that. One of the worst things we had was COVID. That was our years in the commission together, and we were part of a COVID task force. He handled everything well that way, and he always kind of handled it with a little joke. He can tell you anything that happened in Pettis County for the last 100 years easily, and probably before that. Very, very big history buff, and he could apply that to stuff that we were doing in today's time. You know, this happened back in 1928. This happened in 1936, and we shouldn't do that again. Or this is the reason why that happened and what will develop if you do that.
You brought me under your wing and told me what I could and couldn't do, and you helped me be very successful in my career and giving back. And I know that you believe in giving back. You are a joy to be around and a dear friend, and well deserving of this honor.
Thank you for getting the praise that you're going to be getting, and I didn't do it.